Yep, I gotta do this first. You gonna watch? Come here, Mom. All right, good evening. It's 8:30 and we're gonna get started on our Facebook Live. And as you join in, please give me a like or comment so I know you're there. And we are going to be working on our Countdown to Christmas week number 3 project. And it is this small box here. And the suite I used for my small box here is the Festive Farmhouse Suite. And this is a fabulous suite if you like the very traditional country style type of Christmas theme. This is perfect for you. It's got gorgeous, gorgeous paper, and we're going to be using that to make the box. It has the beautiful plaid, but it also has some other colors as well, and you can see them here in the catalog. There are a couple of other little plaids, and then there's like a whitewashed wood pattern that I really like as well. Lots of little embellishments. They've got gorgeous burlap ribbon and galvanized buttons, and just beautiful, beautiful embellishments to go with it. So tonight I'm going to show you how I made this box. Okay, and what I'm using it for is a gift box for soap. Now, our family is a big fan of handmade soaps, and we go to a local soap maker and we get our soaps there. I have a family of redheads and we have very sensitive skin, so we have to get our soaps that are made more naturally without chemicals because of our skin. And I'm trying to get this bag open. Well, this is the bag they give you when you buy the soap, which is really nice, and it's very thoughtful for them to do that, but I really wanted something a little more Christmassy. So here's the soap. It's from the Sunrise Soap Company. I don't know if any of you local folks know about that, but I wanted to make a box to fit the soap in, as well as these little natural lip balms that they have in their store as well. And my girls love this, so I thought this would be a great way to package up their presents for Christmas and for anyone else I would like to give the soaps to. So that's how I came up with the idea of making this little plaid box, and they're going to hold these little gifts for the person who gets the gift. So let's put those away for now and let's focus a little bit on our box. The box is made with the envelope punchboard, and I made it with a belly band, okay, to keep it closed rather than a regular typical box or closing it with some kind of, hi Melinda, some kind of little magnet. And then it opens here, and then I can put, here's my soap, and here's my little lip balm, and I think it fits perfectly into the box. Close the box, put the belly band back on. Okay, so let me show you how to dig in and make the box. We'll make the box part first, and then we'll go ahead with the belly band. All right, the box starts with a piece of cardstock that is 8 by 8 inches. Okay, and of course we're going to use some of the paper from this gorgeous suite, the Festive Farmhouse. And we're going to be using our envelope punch board. Remember, the envelope punch board is not just for envelopes. You can make many, many, many different sizes of envelopes for any unconventional type of card size you might have. But don't forget, you can make many, many boxes with it as well. All right, so we are going to start with a piece of paper that is 8 inches by 8 inches. I'm going to slide it in here on my envelope punch board, get out my scoring tool, and I'm going to slide up here along the numbers, and the first number I'm going to slide to is 3 inches right there. Okay, I'm going to punch it and then score. Remember, we score along the little track here. If I take the paper away, you can see it. That's where we put our little tool and we score our paper there. So we started at 3, and now we're going to slide it to 4 1/2. So over there, do the same thing again. We're going to punch and score. All right, now no more measuring. All the rest of it, we just follow along with the score lines. Okay, if you can see the score lines that are already showing up on my paper, I think they're showing up pretty well there. I'm going to take my little score guide here, that little tiny point, and I'm going to line it up with the first score line that I made. And I'm going to punch and score again. Same thing, I'm going to slide it down to the second score line I made, punch and score. Now we have 2 sides done. Okay, we're going to continue rotating counterclockwise and do the same thing again. Punch and score after lining up. Slide the score guide to the second one. Punch and score. All right, let's turn it for our last side. Remember, no measuring. We're just lining up our score guide with our score lines. And there we go. We have all our scoring and all our punching finished. The last thing I like to do to clean it up a little bit, I turn my punch board around, and on the back there is a corner rounder. Okay, and I like to round the corners. Looks a little nicer that way. All right. So we are on our way to making a box now. First thing I'm going to do is fold all my score lines and crease those very well. Remember, if those lines are nice and creased, your box is going to come together much nicer. Okay, one more side here. I've got double lines on each side to score. And crease. There we go. All right, we're all creased, ready to go. Now we're going to bring in our scissors. All right, now this box goes the long way, which means it's in a landscape position. Okay, it's going to be longer than it is taller. So this is the way it's going to sit, and we're going to start doing our cutting. Now at the bottom, this is the bottom of our box that's going to fold up like that. Okay, we're going to be cutting in on that score line, that first horizontal score line from the bottom. Okay, and this is going to develop some little flaps like that. Okay, then they're going to fold up like that. Now, this is the top of our box. Instead of going in, we're going to cut down on the vertical score lines. And I like to take a little wedge out of there just so it folds in nicely and doesn't make a mess on the top. So that's all the cutting we need to do, believe it or not. Okay, we're done the cutting and ready to put our box together. The best thing to use to put our box together, as many of you know, is the tear and tape. My favorite thing for making boxes. We're gonna put the tear and tape, a small piece, on the inside of the bottom triangle. This is the triangle that is going to fold up at the very end. This is creates the bottom of your box and the front side that doesn't move. Okay, so now we're ready to build. Hi Carolyn, how are you? Thanks for joining me. And we're going to bring in all the sides of our boxes. There's the sides. Now our flaps are in, and we're going to fold this up. Now before I take the tear and tape away, what I like to do is close the box so I can get a better general idea of how I want it to fit top or bottom. Okay, then I'm going to fold this back, and I'm going to take the tear and tape off those tabs. All right, tear and tape. I'm doing a Facebook Live here. You cooperate. All right, one more piece. All right, come on, you. There we go. We did it. All right, so now we're ready to go ahead and adhere it. So we're going to bring up the bottom of the box again. Okay. And we're going to make sure we like where the sides of the box are. We want to keep it square. Bring that side in a little bit. Okay, I think we're good. I'm gonna reach my hand in and just pinch a little bit where the tear and tape is, and there you go. The box is made. The way I made it, we're just gonna flip the top down, and that's gonna close the box. You can, if you want, fold the box that the top flap folds in, okay, if you wanna close the box that way, but I've always liked to close it this way and then put the belly band on or have some kind of fastener on the flap. So that's what we're gonna go with tonight as well. All right, so we've got the box construction finished. All right, the next part is putting together our belly band. So here's the belly band from my sample. So let me show you how I'm going to stamp those parts of the belly band. Okay, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to stamp the sentiment. Right here it says, wishing you a season full of peace, wonder, and love, and a Merry Christmas banner across the top. And we're going to do that in the cherry cobbler. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stamp just on a piece of Whisper White. Okay, there's my sentiment. And then, before I cut that out, I'm going to take a banner piece, which is 1 inch by 3 inches, and I'm going to stamp again, focusing on just getting the Merry Christmas part stamped on the center. All right, let me see if I can do that without sticking my head in the camera. That is the real trick. There it is. Okay, so I just stamped it again, but when I stamped it on the 1 by 3, it didn't stamp the other part of the sentiment. So now I have these two pieces. I'm going to go ahead and get my punch. I'm going to use my 2-inch circle punch, and I'm going to punch out the circle here. Okay, now don't worry. You're going to notice I'm going to cut out a little bit of the C and the S in Christmas, but that's okay because that's not going to show because we're putting a banner over the top. Okay, so there, I'm going to cut out that circle. Okay, and I'm also going to cut out, using the Starburst punch, 2 of these black Starbursts, and I'll show you what I'm going to use those for in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and, using my snips, I'm going to go ahead and cut the Merry Christmas banner into a banner, and I show you how to do that. I just take a little snip in the center, about 1/4 of an inch, and then I go from each of the corners to the top of that snip, and then I make my little banner. And now I'm going to go and do the same thing on the other side. Okay, there we go. Now, before I adhere that over the original, like that, I'm going to go ahead and add a small little banner. If you notice here on my sample, I have a little piece of cherry cobbler that I put in there as well. Okay, and the way I'm going to do that is I'm going to take a little of my Tombow, put a little bit on the banner. This is a 1/2 inch by 4 inches. And then I'm just going to lay the other banner over top very carefully and give that a second to adhere. Then I'm going to cut my corners. Instead of like banners, I'm just going to kind of give them a diagonal cut. I just think that's a really cute way to add a little bit of interest to that. Now, I'm getting there. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take some dimensionals, which everyone knows and loves, and I'm going to put those right here on the Merry Christmas on the circle, and take those off. Come on, dimensionals. There we go. 1, 2, and then I'm going to lay my new banner across the top, making sure I don't cover any of the words on top or bottom. There we go. Then I'm going to take a little bit of my Tombow on one of the Starburst punched basic black pieces, and I'm going to put that right behind the Whisper White circle. Look at how that's coming along. That's so, so pretty. I love that. Last thing I'm going to do is something that I do with a lot, and you'll notice a lot of my countdown videos. I do enjoy a good evergreen sprig. And we're going to add those to the project as well. Now, the evergreen sprig is not available in this suite, but it certainly is available in the Stampin' Up! Catalog, and I'll show you the set. This is the framelit set that includes all those sprigs that I use. It's called the Pretty Pines, and I use this for a lot of my projects, as you can already tell. And Carolyn, I like to use Tombow. I've just learned to use it for almost everything. I used to use this a lot of snail, and now I just find Tombow works for me. Depending on the project. If I'm making boxes, I might be less likely or less inclined to use Tombow, but any kind of embellishment or card making, I do use a lot of Tombow. But it's just a personal preference. You kind of use the adhesive you like. So this is the Pretty Pines framelets. It also has some really cute little pine cones and some other little sprigs. So I think this is mistletoe. So this is a great one to use to add little embellishments and little pieces of floral to any of your projects. And that is available in the annual catalog. All right, so let's go. What do we have left to do? We need to add our sprigs, and if you notice here on my belly band, oops, I just have them kind of sticking out the left-hand side here, up towards the top. So that's what I'm going to do, and the way I do that is I put a little bit of Tombow on the back, and then I kind of lie these on my workspace where I want them. Let's see, let's put them together a little closer. There we go. And now I'm going to just kind of lay them on there so they catch those pieces, those sprigs. And then here's where my second little starburst comes in. I'm going to put a little on the back of that, and then I'm going to lay that and line that up with the original starburst. And that's going to kind of secure those little sprigs, as well as kind of make it look a little nicer on the back. So there we go. Okay, we have our embellishment ready, and now we're going to add that to our box, but first we need to put on our belly band. And my belly band here is a piece of basic black cardstock cut at 1 1/4 by 11. You just kind of slice it off the side of a regular piece of cardstock, and I don't really do any scoring. I kind of eyeball it. I take my box and I put it. Now we're going to be putting the embellishment right here over the flap. That's kind of your decision. You can either put it on the front side or you can put it where your flap is. I always like to put it at the flap side. So I'm going to lay it on top of my strip, and then I'm going to kind of bend my belly band around the box. Okay, giving the belly band a guide on where I'd like it to bend. Okay, then I'm going to take the box away and I'm going to kind of crease. Get out my bone folder. I'm going to crease each of those folds I made while I had it on the box. There's another one, just so it keeps them nice and straight, and it will sit much nicer on your box. There's one, and then there's another one. All right, so there I've got all those creased. Okay, so it's going to come around and do a nice job on the front of your box. So now, this is a place where I would not use Tombow, Carolyn. I'm going to go ahead and use a piece of tear and tape because this is kind of a 3D box construction. So I'm going to put a small piece of tear and tape on that side of my belly band. Okay, here we go. We're going to lay the box inside. I'm going to take my... Okay, I took the tear and tape off the top portion of my belly band, and I'm going to carefully fold it down and secure it right to the center of the box. You want the line to be right at the center of the box because then it will be covered with your embellishment that you make and you don't have to worry. Also, you don't want it to be too tight because you don't want the receiver of the gift to have trouble opening it and then end up tearing it. So you want to make sure that even though the belly band's on there, it's not too tight, that it slides around pretty nicely. Okay, we are in the home stretch here, folks. Okay, so I've got my embellishment that I've made. I have my belly band secure. Last thing I need to do here is I'm going to take 2 more of the dimensionals and I'm going to stick them on the front of the belly band. And here we go. Last 2 to be peeled off. There we go. And now last thing is adding our gorgeous embellishment. Okay, and there we go. We got another box so quickly and so easily. That punchboard is just a great way to make boxes when you need them. So that's how easy that is. That's going to be great to add my soap for my gift for Christmas. So that is week 3 of Countdown for Christmas. Countdown to Christmas. If you have any questions about any of the materials or any of the products I use, please let me know. The set we used here, Carolyn, is the Farmhouse Christmas. Okay, this comes with a set of framelits and some gorgeous paper. Here I had it in here's the catalog. It's on pages 12 and 13. Okay, just so many options with this. Gorgeous paper and very traditional country kind of a style, which is something I really love. So take a look at that, and if you have any questions about any of that product, don't hesitate to message me, and I'd be glad to help you out with any of your projects with that. Now, I will have my blog, will have this posted on it by the end of the evening with all the dimensions and all the information about the products. So if you have any questions, you can go to my blog, and that is at thewexfordstamper.blogspot.com. So thanks for joining me for week 3. Now, I also wanted to let you know that week 2 was my cocoa pouch, the hot cocoa pouch with the marshmallows. And because of another commitment, I was unable to do my tutorial, my Facebook tutorial. So I'm hoping to do that Wednesday evening. So keep an eye out on the VIP page, and I'm hoping to do my tutorial for the cocoa pouch on Wednesday evening, just so I could catch up. So that information is already on the blog if you have any questions about any of the dimensions for the cocoa pouch, but I will be putting one together live on Wednesday night. So watch for that on Facebook. All right, take care, and thanks for joining me tonight, and happy stamping.